So I've got a small bedroom here. This has been a bedroom, this has been an office, it's been a movie theater room. Over the years we've been here, this has been kind of everything. Currently it's just got a little day bed in it, so if we have any guests come down to visit, we've got a place for them to stay. I make a little office out of here. I shoot some small videos in here if I'm doing parts or pieces. But basically what I've got to do is I've got to get some more lighting in this room. Now at one point, probably 7 or 8 years ago when these first came out, I changed the LEDs or the can lights to LED bulbs. I'm going to turn them on. At the time they weren't super bright. As you can see, it's pretty bright in here, but if you're actually going to shoot videos, it's not bright enough. So I went out and I bought some high energy or high output LED trims today. I'm going to pop them in here and see if it makes any difference at all. Now again, when I did this was way before you could actually pick your temperature. You could pick daylight or cool white or warm white at the time. You couldn't actually adjust the brightness. You couldn't adjust the output. They are dimmable, but the ones I bought were these retrofits from Utilitech. These actually say they're 1200 lumens. These are probably, I'm going to guess, maybe 700 at the most. Either way, we're going to pop these in, see what kind of difference it makes. I'm going to pop one in, turn it back on, that way we can see what it looks like. And then if it looks good, we'll replace the rest of them. Now if you see up in mine was at one time just a regular old can. So it was a old school can, had a light bulb up in there. So the retrofit kit that I put in at the time had this connector just screwed into the socket. If you've got a newer can, they're already LED compatible, so you have to just plug in this harness. If you've got an older can, just make sure you get a trim that has the socket attached to it also. So I'm ready to take my old can down. Basically, I'm just going to unplug this harness again. If you need the light bulb socket, put your socket in. I'll take my new can. Make sure I've got my light set to the color I want. Match the white to the white and the black to the black. So putting the new one up, I've got my switch set to my right color setting. I'm going to match my white to my black wire. And then when you put these back up in, this can take a little bit of practice. There's a lot of stuff up in here for these little springs to get caught on. And I've got a camera in my way, I've got a light in my way, I've got a bunch of stuff in the way, so I might have to actually move them to get this in. Basically, you just hook your springs back underneath your clip hooks. Like so, and then you should just pop up in there once you get them lined up. Now again, mine's catching on a piece of metal up in there, so I'm going to have to move the camera. But once I get that moved out of the way, I can pop it up in there. I'll try to get the camera up in there. I'm not sure if you can see or not, but right where that metal hook is trying to go up in that hole, that's what's keeping me from going up in there. So I just got to reach up in there, squeeze the hook past that, and then it should go up in. So that's the finished result. It did take some kind of tweaking to get it in there. Again, these cans are probably 18 years old, so they're an old style can. They're not really made for these LED housings. They do fit, but again, a lot of little stuff up in there for those little wires to get caught on. Again, if your house has been built within the last 5 years, it probably has LED cans already in it, or at least LED compatible cans, so you shouldn't have a problem I had. So I guess the real question is did it make a difference or not? And I would say 100%. You can definitely see there's a brighter glow. I've got it set to 6500 now, which is probably the brightest white. Again, if you're going to do any type of recording or stuff, you need as much lighting as you can possibly get. But you can definitely see the color difference between those. If you just wanted more light, it puts out more light. You could change the color output on the back of it. Once I pull this one down over here, I'll do a little bit of color segmenting without having to put it up in the ceiling. So I'll pull it down, change the color on it so we can see the color differences. So that's the end result. Basically, definitely a lot brighter in here. The only problem with the Utilitech retrofits is their retrofits. They didn't fit in there absolutely perfect at the beginning, so it's not like you just popped them in, they snapped in place. A couple of them did, a couple of them I just had to kind of work them into where they actually fit the trim good. But either way, if you need a brighter room, that will definitely do the job. Those were about $22 a piece. I'll put a link in the description below. And please click on like and subscribe. Oh, and one last thing, they are dimmable. So I can drop them down if I don't want it this bright. Still want the same color lighting, but just don't want them as bright. They don't seem to be flickering right now. If they start flickering, I'll do another review on them in a month or so, but they seem to hold power all the way down to where they're almost completely off. So either way, looks like a good deal. Hope this video helps you out a little bit.